Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the grim reality of the zombie apocalypse and unpacking the chilling backstory of one of the most disturbing groups to ever cross paths with Rick Grimes and his crew, the Cannibals of Terminus. Just the name sends shivers down the spines of Walking Dead fans. This supposed sanctuary, promising community and safety, turned out to be a nightmare fueled by desperation and the most extreme form of survival. But how did these people, who likely started out just like any other survivors, descend into this horrifying practice? Let's rewind and piece together their tragic and terrifying origin story. The apocalypse throws everyone into chaos. Imagine the early days. Fear, loss, and the constant struggle for resources. Food and shelter become paramount. It's fair to assume the people who would eventually become the Terminus cannibals were experiencing the same hardships as everyone else. They were likely part of a larger group, maybe even a well-meaning one, trying to carve out a life in this new world. Now, the exact details of their beginnings aren't explicitly laid out in the show, leaving some room for interpretation. However, we can infer a likely scenario based on Gareth's own chilling admissions and the overall themes of the series. It's probable they found a safe haven, a place they built and felt secure in, potentially even Terminus itself in its earlier, more idealistic form. They might have been welcoming, offered refuge to others, living by a code of helping those in need. But the apocalypse is relentless. As resources dwindled, the competition for survival intensified. This is where things likely started to unravel. Imagine being constantly attacked, raided, having your hard-earned supplies stolen. Trust becomes a luxury, and paranoia starts to creep in. It's highly probable that a group or multiple groups betrayed them. Maybe they were taken advantage of, their generosity twisted against them. Gareth himself mentions being caged and violated before Terminus became what it was. This suggests a traumatic event, a brutal invasion that shattered their sense of security and fundamentally changed their perspective on humanity. Think about it. You build a sanctuary, you open your doors, and then those you trusted turn on you, potentially inflicting unimaginable horrors. This kind of betrayal can break anyone. It can lead to a complete loss of faith in others and a desperate need to protect what little you have left by any means necessary. Now, here's where the truly dark turn likely happened. After being victimized, after being stripped of everything, including their humanity in the eyes of their attackers, desperation could have driven them to the unthinkable. Perhaps during a time of extreme scarcity, facing starvation and the constant threat of both the living and the dead, the idea of resorting to cannibalism arose as a desperate act of survival. It's not a leap to imagine that this wasn't a decision made lightly. It was likely born out of a horrific necessity, a last resort in the face of utter annihilation. But once that line is crossed, it's hard, if not impossible, to go back. And here's the tragic irony. To survive the brutality they experienced, they became the very thing they likely feared. They adopted the you or me mentality to its most extreme conclusion. They learned that trusting others could lead to their destruction, so they eliminated the threat by turning others into a resource. Terminus, initially meant to be a haven, became a killing floor. The signs, which once represented hope, became a lure. They actively sought out other survivors, not to offer sanctuary, but to replenish their food supply. This is a terrifying example of how easily humanity can be eroded in the face of extreme adversity. The backstory of the Terminus cannibals is a stark reminder of the brutal realities of the Walking Dead universe. It highlights the devastating impact of trauma and the terrifying lengths people will go to when pushed to their absolute limits. It forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about survival, morality, and what it truly means to be human in a world overrun by the dead. While their actions were abhorrent, understanding their origins allows us to grasp the deeper complexities of the show. It shows us that the monsters aren't always the ones who are already dead. Sometimes they're the living, broken by the world around them. So, what do you think about the backstory of the Terminus cannibals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more Walking Dead deep dives and theories. Until next time, stay safe out there, and watch out for the signs.